And during that time, as I was standing in front of the mirror, these words start appearing on the mirror right in front of my eyes. Um, and the words are in Telugu. And the words are Sairam, Raksha Raksha.
Sairam, dear listeners, welcome to Sai SOUL 100. Our guest today is Sister Aparna Chitturi, who is joining us from Secaucus, New Jersey. Sairam, Sister Aparna, thank you for joining Sai SOUL 100.
Sairam Prabha, what an incredible journey this has been for you and for all of us.
It has been an incredible journey. Yes, absolutely. Welcome to Sai SOUL 100. Please share your story.
Thank you, Prabha. When you truly love someone selflessly, right, you're always thinking about their well-being. You want to protect them from all harm, keep them safe. So it is this aspect of Swami's unconditional love that I will be speaking about today. Since this initiative is a birthday initiative, I'm actually going to start off with the story of my birth. So just to give you some context, my dad's side of the family, they have been in Swami's fold since the 50s. But my mom's side, they were very traditional and they never really understood the concept of worshiping a human being as God. So my mom nearly never accepted that concept in the beginning of their married life. So my parents were married, and my mom was pregnant with me, and she was overjoyed and looking forward to the baby. But there were a lot of complications, and she had to make this very difficult choice of terminating the pregnancy. She was just devastated, as any mother would be. And, she didn't know what to do, but, she had to kind of move forward with this. So she was, just praying the whole time, and not happy the way things were going. And then, they had to kind of give her the medication to just what they need to do what they need to do. And while she was praying, she fell asleep, and she had this beautiful dream. In this dream, there was Lord Shiva. So my mom's side of the family worship Lord Rajarajeshwara, who is a form of Shiva. So he appeared to her in her dream, and he was very, very loving, very kind, very reassuring. And he told her that, do not worry, I will take care of everything. And then he gives her prasadam, he gives her a banana. And, he asks her to eat that banana. So in her dream, she eats that banana and she feels very good. And, that was the end of the dream. That's all she could remember. And she wakes up, and she is in perfect health, and nothing happens to me despite all the medications that were given. And the pregnancy is intact. And, several months later, she has a very healthy and safe delivery. And, I took birth. So, as gratitude to Lord Shiva, my parents decided to name me Aparna, which is the name of Parvati, Shiva's wife. So that is the story of my life. Even before I was born, even before I had any clue or inclination of who Swami is, he protected me. And that has been the theme all through my life. It's, he has been constantly protecting me. But growing up, I did not believe in him. I didn't have any connection with Swami, although I believed in God, but, I did not have a connection with Swami. So that's how things were, and life moved on. And we fast forward to, when I was a teenager. This was sometime like mid to late 90s. And at that time, I was just like undergrad student. I was doing my engineering. I was away from home, and that was the first time I was away from home. So I was homesick. I didn't know how to cope with all that change. And my dad used to work for a public sector company. Up until then, it was probably like 25 years since he worked for that company. And that company, they were closing all the public sector companies down. So he was in the midst of all this craziness of figuring out what to do next. There were health challenges. A couple of my family members were going through some serious health issues, not knowing what it was. So it was this very, very dark time. And that was the time that Swami decided to enter our life. And he just came in, and he was a pillar of strength for all of us. And he stood by us, even though like we never believed in him. We criticized him and had all these doubts and questions. None of that mattered to him. It was just pure unconditional love. And I just want to like focus on one particular experience from that time. As we were going through this, I think it was the year probably like 2001. I graduated, and I was a new grad, and I was going through a very tough time, a lot of challenges in my life. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I was living in Bangalore for the most part, and I would travel back and forth to Bangalore and Parthi and Hyderabad. And when I was in Bangalore, I had the opportunity to frequently visit Swami in Parthi and also in Whitefield. So I had many, many darshans, and Swami gave me a lot of attention at that time. He knew that I needed the attention, so I would always get like first few lines in darshan. He would come take a letter from me. If I practiced a bhajan, next day, like when I go to bhajans, they would sing the same bhajan in the bhajan. So he was like acknowledging everything that I was doing, and he was holding my hand through that tough time. So this was happening, and Guru Purnima came around, and my mom was part of the Seva Dal from Hyderabad. So they had 15 days of Seva in Parthi. So mom, myself, and my sister, we went to Parthi for Seva. And then we came back. We came back from Parthi, and we were in Hyderabad. And after coming back, I was in my room. I was getting ready to go somewhere. And, my door was locked. And, I was just in a very, very, stressful mindset that nothing was working out. And I was just very, very down. Um, and I was getting ready, and I stood in front of this mirror, as I was getting ready. And I was just very disheartened and very, very, feeling very low at that time. And during that time, as I was standing in front of the mirror, these words start appearing on the mirror right in front of my eyes. Um, and the words are in Telugu. And the words are Sairam Raksha Raksha. So it means Swami's protection. So I was standing there, and I was just shocked. I just like couldn't grasp uh, the situation, and I started weeping, and I was loudly like calling out to my mom and sister at that time. And I was calling them, and but the door was locked. I turned around, and as I turned around, the door was closed, and the same words appear on the back of the door. So I just I was very, very emotional. um, I was very grateful. At the same time, I was also like not able to understand, um, at that moment, just soaking everything in. So I opened the door and I called my mom and sister, and they were like, "Are you okay?" And then I show them the words, and they understood. And then I close the door and I show them the door, and they started crying too. So the three of us walk into the living room, and we just like sit in the couch, and we were just trying to understand what just happened. And there is in the living room, my sister felt like it's better to close the door, so she went to close the door, and the words formed on the living room door as well. So we were just so overwhelmed. We saw that, and then my sister said, "Akka, let's go like look at the other rooms." And we would go to each room, and on every door these words were forming right in front of our eyes. It was Swami was writing them in front of us. We couldn't see him, but we could see the words. So every door in our home, these words appeared. And it was as if, Swami was protecting our home from something negative from entering. It was almost like he was drawing this line of protection around us. So it was just, I can't express in words what this means to me, but it was his assurance when we needed it. And that is the kind of love only God can have, right? Without any judgments, without holding anything against you, even though you never believed in him, but being there with you when you need him. So it just, means a lot to me. And, that just kept us going. That, gave us the strength to weather all kinds of storms that came in life. So fast forward, there was this dream that I had, and I'm going to jump back and forth in time. So, it's not in any chronological order. So I had this dream, which is a very significant dream, and I always think of it. And in that dream, I was in a very thick forest. It's a very, very dense forest. And the place looked like it was several hundred years ago. It was not this time. I just looked different too, and I felt different. And in that dream, I was in the middle of this forest trying to run from someone who is shooting arrows at me. So I was running, and I was, like trying to duck, hide, run everywhere, find a place. And this kept happening until I got to a point where, I climbed a tree and I had nowhere to go. And there was this person ready to shoot an arrow at me. And I was just helpless. And I was there, not knowing what to do. Just at that very time, Swami appears in my dream in that forest. And he looked very young, very radiant, and beautiful and blissful as always. And he gave this big smile when I looked at him. And very lovingly, he points me to a place where I could hide. So I quickly get off the tree, I go and hide in that place. And I'm very, very grateful that, he showed me this place to hide. But a few minutes later, again, I'm spotted. The same thing happens, someone comes after me, and, I start again running to find a place. And Swami appears. Each time I'm cornered, he appears. There were no words spoken. He never said a word. He was just pointing me to different places. But his gestures and his love was just so much more powerful than any words at all that you could ever think of. So this whole dream was just that. him pointing me to a place where I could be safe each time I was in trouble. So the next morning, I woke up and I shared this dream with my sister, and she said, "What a beautiful dream! Swami is giving you an assurance that he's always watching over you and he's always protecting you." And September 16th happens to be my dad's birthday. So it was also very symbolic that, he was protecting me like a father. I don't know how much time we have, but maybe I can share probably one more story. And this experience I had after Swami left his physical form. I was in Jersey City, and this was the year 2011. And this was April-May timeframe. And April-May timeframe, I typically have very severe pollen allergies. And that particular year, the pollen was so bad, and I was just miserable. I would go to work, but I was just not in a good frame of health. And it was just very difficult. I was literally dragging my feet to work. I was working on this very important project. And I was managing a big aspect of it, and I had no choice. So I couldn't take time off. So I was going to work, and my coworkers are also very anxious and worried about my health. Um, no matter like what I take, medications or anything, it wasn't helping, and it was just draining me a lot. And then this unfortunate, day comes, April 24th, and Swami left his physical form, and I was just devastated. Um, to begin with, my health was frail, and this news came as a big blow, and I just couldn't withstand it. I didn't know how to process it. I was so attached to his physical form. And who wouldn't be? I mean, such a beautiful form. So that attachment was very, very deep, and it just impacted my health even more. And, I deteriorated further. And my coworker said, try to work from home, if you can. Um, and I was going into the office once in a while, and I was working from home for the most part. But being at home was not healthy too, because my mind would wander off. So I felt better off going to work. So I was just struggling to kind of figure things out. And this was towards the end of May. And I was still not in good health, not in great shape. I came home from work, and I was very, very exhausted. And, I went to sleep, and I had difficulty sleeping. But then eventually I fell asleep. And in the middle of my sleep, I had breathing issue. It was almost like an asthma attack. I was gasping. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't get up. I couldn't ask for help. I was single. I was by myself at that time. So I just didn't know what to do. I tried to make a sound, but I couldn't even make a sound. But in my mind, I was chanting Sai Gayatri. That is my go-to mantra in times of need. That's what comes to mind. So I was just chanting Sai Gayatri incessantly in my mind, and I was struggling to just get up, and I didn't know what to do. I felt like I was nearing some kind of end. It just felt like it. And out of nowhere, Swami comes, and he stands right next to my bed. And I want to get up and go touch him, touch his feet. And I'm struggling, and he tells me, "Neno stunnanu, I'm coming. You don't come, I'm coming." And he comes to me, and he passes his hand over my body. Um, his hand is probably like half inch or an inch over my body. He wasn't touching my body, but it was just above my body, and he just passes his hand from head to toe 2 times. And I cannot describe that experience. I could just feel every cell in my body vibrating. as though it was like receiving the energy that he was giving. Maybe he was bringing back life into me. Um, so I could just feel that energy, and it was just very, very intense. And I just tried so hard to get up. I just wanted to go, like, fall at his feet. And I wanted to, like, say something to him, but I was not in a position to. And after this happens, I just fall asleep. Um, and I have not slept in months. For a couple months, my sleep has been very, very disturbed. But that night, I slept like a baby. And I woke up next morning feeling so renewed, as though like I had a new life. And I went to work, and my coworkers were like, "What just happened to you? You're not the same person you were yesterday. We were all so concerned about you. And then today you come back like, you got this boost of energy from somewhere." And I was just smiling. I couldn't share that with them because they wouldn't understand. But I was internally so thankful, so grateful to Swami. And his protection, continues to this day. And that experience I particularly hold on to because it happened after he left his physical form. And what is the form, right? Is it that 5 feet 2 inches? Or is it this energy that is always with us, in us, around us, guiding us, guarding us, shielding us, protecting us? That energy is always there. And if we call out, he always responds. So I'd like to conclude, this sharing with some inspiring words. And the title goes like this. It's called "To This Love, I Offer My All." A love that is selfless, constant, and pure. A love that stands by me even when about myself I am unsure. A love that stays with me through life's every turn. A love that keeps giving without seeking anything in return. A love that treasures me and holds me most dear. A love that celebrates my joy and wipes every tear. A love that thinks of my well being each day. A love that brings me home when I lose my way. A love that guides, guards, and protects me from harm. A love that gently helps me grow and transform. To this love, my beloved Swami, I offer my all. With a heart full of gratitude, your divine Leelas I joyfully recall. Thank you, Prabha.
Sairam, Aparna, thank you for sharing this story. It's not really a story. Thank you for sharing Swami's protection on all of us. Repeatedly in the stories that you've shared shows how he has protected you throughout, right? Through his energy showing up in physically, through writings, he's just complete and dreams completely been protecting you. Um, Even at the time you were born, even though the decision has been made to terminate, you came out healthy because of his will, absolutely his will, right? So this was the this was destined for you to have this journey, right? And then your dream of you're running, being chased, isn't that what our life is all about?
Yes.
Right? And he's always there at the time of need. When you're stuck in a corner, he comes through and shows us, go hide there, or oh, I'm protecting you in this way, right? So he gives you that peace, saying that I'm always protecting you, I'm always there guiding you. That's through the dream. And when you were in your early 20s, and at the time when you were not fully believing in Swami, he selflessly, unconditionally comes and gives you the sign of I'm protecting you, right? Swami's protection. That's what the writing was, right? All throughout for your entire family, but particularly for you to see as he is writing it, for the words to form. I it was amazing to hear you share that story of the writing being formed as you are witnessing it. You're being able to witness it. And then, of course, finally, at the time that you were sick in 2011, um, Swami leaving his physical form, all of that, one after the other, giving you a time that is very difficult. And to be able to be living alone in a home and not being able to get up, breathe, do anything, feeling that that sense of helplessness. Swami physically comes. When he has left his physical form, he manifests himself, he comes physically in front of you and revives your cells, revives you, right, into a person that you were not for the last 2 months,
Mhm.
right, and protects you yet again. So it's just a beautiful example of how Swami can and is protecting each one of us. We
Yes.
don't get to see it. Sometimes we don't realize it.
We don't realize it. We don't realize it. He's always there. He's always there. And he's always like thinking of us, wishing well for us, watching over us and giving us the best. Even though sometimes, it may be a bitter pill, but, he knows that that is the best for us at that time.
And sometimes we feel like, what do I need to do to see Swami? What do I need to see? What do I need to do to see his hands at work? But we don't have to do anything. It's already there. And
Hmm.
he will show himself in any way he thinks is suitable for each one of us. But he's absolutely there. And thank you so much for sharing your stories of how Swami is the protector, ultimate protector, by showering his unconditional love onto each and every single one of us.
Thank you, Prabha, for the opportunity.
Sairam, thank you for joining Sai Soul
Um,
100.
Sairam.
Sairam, dear listeners, thank you for listening to Sai Soul 100 with Sister Aparna Chitturi. I'm Prabha Swaminathan. Until next time, Jai Sairam.